Good evening, everyone. This is Jim Sewell here at Jeff Davis High School, and it's our first edition this year of the Jacket Nation Warm-Up Show. We are working this year with the Jeff Davis High School Audio Visuals Department. They're going to be doing our video production, live streaming here on 105.9 The Sting on Facebook Live. We're also broadcasting as usual on WHJD The Sting, 105.9 FM. And also, you can also get the audio on the TuneIn Radio app on both your Android and iPhone devices. Just do a search for WHJD in the TuneIn Radio app. So we're excited to hopefully get some high school football coming in on this week. Finally, it's been going through the COVID-19 has really been, a lot of questions in everyone's mind. Were we going to make it to the season? Were we going to get football? But yes, we're going to be heading up to Lincoln County tomorrow night, take on the Lincoln County Red Devils, one of the legendary schools in Georgia high school football, one of the third winningest program in all time. You've got former head coach of the Red Devils, Larry Campbell, with 477 wins. That's the most in Georgia high school history, so a very tradition-rich program head up there in Lincolnton, Georgia, and it's going to be a big challenge for our Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets as they hit the road to make this first road trip, get our opening game of the 2020 season underway. Of course, last year the Jackets finished 7-3 in Coach Lance Helton's third season. It was kind of a bittersweet type season, a very successful season with 7 wins. A lot of teams around the state would have loved to be able to say they had a 7-win season, but it ended a bit on a bitter note as we fell late on a comeback by the Metter Tigers, and that kept us out of a chance to make the playoffs. So we were at 7-3 and sitting home watching a lot of teams with lesser records than the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets continuing to play in postseason. But overall, a success for the Yellow Jackets, continuing to build. Coach Lance Helton, starting his 4th season now, has a overall record of 19 wins against 12 losses. And he's got a big challenge ahead as a big senior class graduated last year, and a lot of, there were several kids on that team that started for the Yellow Jackets for 4 seasons, and that's, it's rare that you have a team with 1, maybe 2 4-year starters, but there were 3 or 4 on that senior class last year who were 4-year starters for this program, and they're going to be sorely missed. But a lot of talent returns. And this team has the potential to continue the winning tradition that Coach Helton has established here and hopefully push on further, make into the playoffs, and hopefully advance deep into the playoffs this year as we continue to grow this program. It's been a tremendous season, a lot of anticipation about this 2020 season, just with the overall uncertainty. And talking with Coach Helton and some of his coaches and some of the players, they have taken really to heart all the safety protocols that have been put in place to keep these kids healthy, to keep them safe, and to be able to make it through a full season. We're all hopeful that we're going to get a full 10-game season under our belts this year and be able to take it all the way into the postseason. But it's an exciting time to be a Jeff Davis Yellow Jacket. We are really thankful for the school and the effort, the coaching, the program, and the effort that all these kids have put into being Yellow Jackets. And we're going to be anxious to see them take the field tomorrow night up in Lincoln County. We'll take a little bit of break right here. I want to give you some of our sponsors this year who will be bringing you Jeff Davis Yellow Jacket football, Laster Tractor Company, Douglas Metal and Steel, Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic of Coffee County, Abundant Life Pharmacy, Baby and Me, the Bridgeford Church of God, Lumber City Drugs, and Hazelhurst Auto Parts. We want to thank those fine sponsors for being a big part of Jeff Davis Yellow Jacket football. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with Coach Brian Lawson here on the Jacket Nation Warm-Up Show. Welcome back to the Jacket Nation Warm-Up Show. I'm Jim Sewell, and here alongside Coach Brian Lawson. Coach Lawson, assistant head coach, and be focusing on wingbacks this year. Coach, we just were talking as you came in. It's been a long time since we started practice, and we're really proud to start practice, but we finally get to take the field Friday night.
No doubt. We're very excited. Kids are. It's like me and you, Jim, were just talking about. Usually you're in your third week of the season and you're playing other teams by now. We've been banging on each other for 3 weeks, so we've had some nice little scuffles at practice amongst people, which is always good. But when you're banging on each other, it just gets monotonous, and it just keeps going on and on and on. And we're just ready to finally hit somebody in a different color, especially somebody wearing red. So that's always good for us.
We always like to beat on them red teams, don't we?
No doubt.
Well, we've got several red teams in our region and several rivals that wear red. This year, your assistant head coach moving over to the offensive side of the ball to focus on wingbacks. You inherited a pretty good bit of talent at that position, didn't you?
No doubt. When you bring back multi-year starters and a Ice Allen, who's going to be a very good college football player someday, and then Lawson Wood also, who's a senior this year, who's been a 4-year starter for us on both sides of the ball. Already got an offer to Reinhardt to go play ball, and hopefully going to have some more looks. It makes your job easy when you got guys that can do what they're doing. And when I moved from the defense side to the offensive side, I start to learn too. So got them guys coach me a little bit during the summer until I got my feet wet, So
you've been with Coach Helton since he came here. This will be your 4th season. This thing really this coaching staff, and I know you got a couple of new faces this year, but you guys have really meshed almost as a family, haven't you?
Oh, no doubt. When we came here, that was the one thing that Coach Helton preached to everybody when we came on board was this is a family. We want to stick together. And I'm with Coach Helton. I've told him that from day one. I love Jeff Davis. I love the community. My family loves the community here. My kids love it. We try and take that within the coaching staff and as well with the kids, where we're just one unit. And that's what we've been preaching this offseason is team and brotherhood, trying to come together as one, especially with what's going on right now with this COVID stuff, to make sure that kids are where they're supposed to be on the weekends, taking care of their business, not hanging out with the people and getting outside your inner circle like the coaching staff. And, we haven't had no shutdowns this summer, knock on wood, but just, like you said earlier, we've done a lot with the cleaning process here, and our school system's done a great job of being support for us. But that's the biggest thing is just keeping us as one, as a family.
As we mentioned, 2 very talented wingbacks in Ice Allen and Austin Wood, who are returning starters for this team. Tell us about some of the other guys that we may see in action at that wingback position. Maybe some younger players who have really stepped up.
No doubt. Casey Clance is a sophomore for us. He was getting a lot of playing time last year on defense and ended up rolling his ankle in the Appleton scrimmage last year. And actually, when they went to get it looked at with the MRI, he had some ligament tears, so he had to have surgery. So he was out the whole last season. And he's a tough joker that we got right now. And he's definitely going to get some playing time for us. He plays HNZ back, so he can spell those guys. Peyton Laney, who's moved over from the wide receiver position for us, has moved to a running back. That's going to help us as well. And also Willie Skipper, who's a senior for us this year, who originally was here in the middle school program, moved and has moved back. That's playing a little Z back, is also going to be able to give us a little spark this year.
We've traditionally run the wing T under Coach Helton. I'm assuming that's going to be pretty much the same plan. Just continue to pound the rock.
No doubt, and get back to doing what we do, running our plays, running our series, letting the kids they've been in the program now for 4 years. We have 4-year starters on both sides of the ball. They've been in the same program. And that's something that's great here because before Coach Helton was here, I believe he was the 4th head coach for those seniors in 4 years, 4 different schemes. Right. So now doing what we do offensively, running the ball, having kids that have been in our program, our system, our weight room, our nutrition for this long, we're going to keep doing the same thing, do what we do, baby.
You've got a couple of big guys on offense to replace, and Jayshon Kirby at fullback, Brett Metz at quarterback, and then up front where the big boys play, Ray, I went blank.
Christian
Ray I wanted to call him Muley, but, but Christian Ray, those were, they were all 4-year starters. And so some new guys got to step in. We kind of got a little bit of a blow with Trey Chandler going down, who was set to be in the fullback position. So, right off the bat, you got to have some kids step up.
No doubt. When you have a 4-year starter in Brett Metz, you have big shoes to fill with the new starter for us. He'll be talking with y'all a little bit later. But he's got big shoes to fill, and he knows that. He's worked hard in the offseason. He's done it, and he's won the job because we have had a battle with a few quarterbacks, and he's taking care of business. We have a new center coming in that's looked really well in the offseason, and there's also not just the ones you think about with Jay Sean Kirby as fullback, but also you have a left tackle in Jalen Grady that is now playing college football, who's a starter from a freshman, sophomore that's gone, and also Greg Chambers, who's been with us, who's playing college football out in Kansas right now. So we had some big shoes to fill at different spots, not just at fullback, center, and quarterback, the little line we got, what I'm saying? But some other spots that have been filled by some guys that have been doing a great job in this offseason.
It's always a little bit worrisome when you load kids on a bus and you have to ride 2, 3, 4 hours to make a football game, especially the very first game of the season. So kind of give us what the coach's approach is going to be to handling this long road trip.
With our usually having 2 preseason games, you have special teams that can lock in, that win and lose your ball games every time. Your offense is now starting to click, and now first game of the year, no scrimmage. We've only scrimmaged ourselves in the blue and gold or navy and gold game. We have to travel to Lincolnton, 3 hours away, against a very good perennial power team. They were in the quarters, I think, not too long ago. But like Coach Helton said, day one, to make good runs in the playoffs, you've got to schedule good teams on the road. And we were talking earlier, we had some teams that offered to come play us go play some other ones, but we chose to go to Lincoln. Like, don't get that twisted by nobody. Like, we want to go play a very good team and test ourselves early. Now there's going to be probably some stuff happening offensively, defensively, special teams. But that's the hiccups you take, early on without a practice game. But we're excited. Coach Helton's excited. These kids are prepared, and we're ready to roll.
Well, they're in the same boat. They've no doubt they're doing scrimmage.
Exactly.
And the other thing there is they're breaking in a new head coach, a very good head coach, one we're familiar with, Coach Lee Chalkis, who was by day it seemed like forever, over 100 wins in his career. Now the head coach at Lincoln County, and we've not had a lot of success against Coach Chalkis over his history.
No, sir. But with him going to Lincoln now, we know about what they're going to do defensively. We think we know what they're going to do offensively, which helps us. And also when you hire Vidalia's defensive coordinator to come over here this year, and Jay Cravey also helps you out. But they're going to be disciplined. They're going to be a tough team. They're going to be physical. They have two or three preseason All-State kids in number 44. Number 12, and the quarterback that also plays defensive end as a preseason All-State kid for the AJC. So he's got the players, and he's a very good coach, and we've got to do what we do and not get caught up in the hype that it's Lincoln County.
Right. Well, it's going to be excitement just to get football started again.
No doubt.
I know we're excited. All our Jacket fans have been excited. Had a great turnout for the Navy and Gold game last Thursday. That shows you how avid we are to get some football started.
Yes, sir. And this community needs it, especially one school communities like us. Football is the pulse of the county. If we can do anything for this community and get football going, it's been down for so long, and we finally got a winning tradition set at Jeff Davis, and the fans are starting to see that. They're starting to come out to the games. Our scrimmage game, like you said, had a ton of folks at it. We just want a good travel group of folks to travel to Lincoln County and to support not just us and the county, but these kids that have been busting it all summer long and doing what they're supposed to do. So if we can get the biggest crowd possible, that's what we need. Make it like a home field up there at Lincoln County.
As Coach Helton says, we're going to take the Pinelands up to Lincoln County.
No doubt, that's it. That's the plan.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you for coming and talking with us today. Good luck tomorrow night against the Lincoln County Red Devils, and let's go get them.
No doubt. Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Coach Brian Lawson, assistant head coach, wingbacks coach for the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets. before we get into some player interviews, I want to mention some of our sponsors here that will be working with us on game day. We have our pregame show is going to be sponsored by the Jeff Davis Hospital. Our halftime show sponsor is H&H Home Supply. Our sideline reports will be coming to you courtesy of Southern Eye Care. And just want to give a shout out to our crew this year that will be working with me on game night. We'll have our analyst, Coach Chris Davis, will be in the broadcast booth alongside me. Down on the sidelines will be our new sideline reporter, Paul Wood. And we're really excited for our video crew that will be traveling with us, 3 Jeff Davis High School students, Lauren Dixon, Abby Hernandez, and Jacob Williams. And we appreciate our guys that will be bringing you Yellow Jacket football all season long. We'll take a little break right now and bring in a couple of players. We'll do some interviews, and we'll be back after this short break with first player interview. Welcome back to the Jacket Nation Warm-Up Show. I'm Jim Sewell here as we get set for a big Friday night of football on the road to Lincoln County to take on the Lincoln County Red Devils. Kickoff will be at 7:30. We'll be on the air with our pregame show at 7 o'clock, and you can get that right here on Facebook Live as well as on our traditional radio, WHJD 105.9 FM, and also on the TuneIn Radio app. You can get that on both your Android and iPhone devices. Just do a search for WHJD in the TuneIn Radio app. And give you a little tip on that if you've not used the TuneIn Radio app before. When you download it and open the app, it has a screen comes up that prompts you to sign up for a paid subscription. But up in the upper corner, you'll see an X. Just click on the X and that'll take that marketing screen away, and you'll be able to go right into the free version of TuneIn Radio, and that way you don't have to pay a subscription fee to listen to the Yellow Jackets on your phone or your Android, your iPad device. Joining me now is Cade Walters, senior linebacker this year. He's played safety for a couple of years, but now moving down to play linebacker. Cade, welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right, y'all been grinding now for it seems like 6 or 8, 9 weeks, doesn't it?
It's been a while.
They delayed the start of the season and then canceled the scrimmage games. So it's been a grind. You guys, normally right now we're about 3 or 4 games into the season.
Oh yeah, it's just we're built up, ready to go tomorrow night.
All right. So how's the team been handling this? All the protocols with COVID-19 and the extended practice time, and looking forward to getting to that first game. How's the team been able to work through those things?
I believe we handled it pretty well. We got a lot of emotion built up in us, just ready to get out there on the field, and I think it's gonna be a good night tomorrow night.
Kind of a little bit of a smaller senior class here. I believe you got 12. Is that right? 12 seniors this year.
Yes, it's something like that.
So a little bit numbers down from what we had last year. Had a large senior class last year. Some really good players last year, but there's some good players in the senior class that are returning. And you guys have got a tradition now that has been established as a winning program. What do you senior class taking on to lead this team into another winning season?
Oh yes, sir. I believe we got a great senior class, and they took leadership over, and I think we're good with that.
I know in your career you've played both sides of the ball, and I think every time we've talked in the past, you tell me that you like the defense side of the ball better than the offense. Is that still the case?
That's correct, 100%.
Moving down from safety to linebacker, you're going to be up closer to the line of scrimmage, more responsibility stopping the run. How's that play into your skill set?
I like the position, the outside linebacker, because you got to be quick and fast, and I think I have them essentials to play that position.
It's you got a couple of new faces on the defensive side of the ball. Coach Jake Cravey coming over from Vidalia High School, defensive coordinator. Stan Rush coming in to play coach defensive line. How these new coaches kind of meshed in with you guys to build up a cohesive defensive unit?
Coach Craven and Coach Rush, they come in and done a fantastic job with the defense. They know what they're talking about, they know what they're doing, and they've helped us in the long run.
I was just looking at some stats earlier this week from Lincoln County from last year, and they played a really good defense, didn't give up a lot of points. So that's going to be a challenge, and they returned some really good players. That's going to be a real challenge for our defense to match them and keep them out of the end zone.
Oh yes, sir. But I believe we're going to early chip on our shoulder to prove something, and I think we're going to have a great night tomorrow night.
A little bit different defensive scheme this year, more of a 4-4 look than we've played in the past. I think that takes advantage. We got some really good sized kids that can play the line. Got a couple of guys on the ends that are big and have got some speed to them, and that kind of frees you linebackers up to move around and make a lot of plays. Is that kind of the way the scheme is going to work?
Oh yes, sir. Them guys up front, they're going to do their job, and us linebackers, we're going to do what we need to do to win the ball game.
All right. Well, I know you've been a big part of the baseball program. You and Connor, who's going to come in behind us both. I know you guys got your season cut short last spring. That's heartbreaking for me.
Oh yeah.
And so, how does that losing that part of the baseball season? Does that really give you that much more incentive now that you're a senior? And you don't know. We really don't know from week to week how many football games we're going to get to play.
Oh yes, sir. It is hard. Just knowing not how many games you're going to get to play left, and just take it one by one and do the best you can.
All right. So it's that unknown situation that we face. It means kind of my thought would be when that whistle blows for the kickoff, you can better leave it all on the field that night because you're not guaranteed to get back out there the next time.
For sure. Yes, sir.
All right, Cade. Well, I sure do appreciate you coming and talking with us. Any thoughts you want to talk to the fans out there about tomorrow night?
Y'all just come out, support us. We need everybody we can get.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks, sir.
Go Jackets. That's Cade Walters, outside linebacker for the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets, a senior this year. We'll take another little break here in just a second. I want to mention a couple of more of our sponsors for our game nights. The starting lineup this season will be sponsored by Williams Brothers Trucking. Kickoffs will be sponsored by Bruce Edwards, your personal injury attorney. Timeouts will be courtesy of McCarty Auto Parts. And our game live stream for game nights is courtesy of Beasley Forest Products. We'll take a little break right here, and we'll get set up. And we're going to Connor Ray in to talk to us, and we'll be back in just a minute after this break. Welcome back to the Jacket Nation warm-up show. This is Jim Sewell here alongside Connor Ray. We'll be talking to in just a second. We want to remind everyone that Jackets take the road tomorrow night, traveling up to Lincoln, Georgia to take on the Lincoln County Red Devils in the season opener. Need a big crowd to make your way up to Lincoln County and cheer on the Yellow Jackets. If you can't make it, we'll have all the action for you right here on our Facebook page, 105.9 The Sting, as well as on WHJD 105.9 FM and on the TuneIn Radio app that's available for both your Android and your iPhone devices. So make your plans to support the Jackets, whether you can make the trip in person or tune in to one of our three sources of letting you get Yellow Jacket football. We couldn't do it without all of our fine sponsors that have come online to help us bring Yellow Jacket football to you. I'm going to talk now with Connor Ray. Connor's going to step into the starting quarterback role this year, senior, and you've played behind Brett Metz for 3 years now, and Brett leaving here as a 4-year starter at quarterback leaves some mighty big shoes to fill, but talking with Coach Helton, and Coach Lawson mentioned y'all had a battle for the quarterback position over the summer, and you won the job. So congratulations, and tell us what it means to be the quarterback for the Yellow Jackets.
It means a lot. It really is really big shoes to fill. Britt was a really good player for us, but being behind him for 3 years, I feel like I got a lot of experience, knowing the offense, knowing the game. So being behind him, maybe I don't have the experience in game wise, but knowledge of the game, I feel like I'm ready for that.
You step in, and it's been kind of the tradition since Coach Helton's come here that the starting quarterback wears number 16. You inherit that number this year, Nate Hibble's old number. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Nate was a really good player, like an NFL player, and
right.
Being able to wear a jersey that an NFL player wore means a lot.
You're also a multi-sport athlete. I mentioned to Cade a little bit about the baseball season cut short. You're a big part of that baseball team. Does going through that experience and now being a senior, does that give you that much more incentive as you walk out on the field on Friday night?
Yeah, so it gives you a little kick in the butt because you don't know how many more games you have left to play on Fridays. So, I mean, that really it hurts you because you lost your season, but it also gives you a little chip on your shoulder.
And you guys had some high expectations for that season too, didn't you?
Yeah, sir. Only losing one senior was supposed to be a really big year for us.
And it was a shame that that got taken away. But now we're on to football, a new season. Coach Helton has established some success here at Jeff Davis. Tell us a little bit about working under Coach Helton and this coaching staff. They work you guys hard, but seems like they're right there at your back when you need them.
Yeah, sir. They're really good coaches. Coach Helton's a really big mentor to me. I look up to him a lot. But they're really good coaches, and if you ever need them, they're there for you.
You got Coach Austin Oliver is taking over the job now, coaching quarterbacks, also be working with fullbacks. Tell us a little bit about Coach Oliver.
So he played at Wheeler County, 4-year starter for them. Played fullback his first year, but then was a quarterback for 3 years. And so he knows a lot about the game. And so he's a really big help to our offense this year.
And he's kind of also adopted part of the offensive coordinator role. And so I guess with Coach Helton and Coach Oliver kind of working that, they kind of got to get their heads together to call the plays on Friday night, don't they?
Yes, sir.
Now, I know as in this system you worked under Brett, and this is a wing T offense, so that mesh between the quarterback and the running backs has got to be, timing's got to be perfect. I know y'all work on it a lot. How have you developed that sense of timing with your wing backs, Heiss and Austin and your fullback? Got a new fullback coming in this year. So how's that kind of meshed with those three guys?
Well, over the offseason, we worked on it a lot, and then having these several weeks of practice from the games, we've also practiced a lot on the meshes and where we need to be at certain times. So I feel like we got that down.
And one thing that I noticed with Brett over the years, and of course it comes from being a 4-year starter, he kind of could see things the defense as it develops. I know you've worked a lot behind him. Is that a challenge that you're having to adapt to? Is to be able to kind of let the game slow down a little bit and be able to see the defense as it develops in the play?
Yes, sir, for sure. It's something different, when you don't see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a challenge to adapt to.
This team we talked a little bit about with Cade, 12 seniors on this team, not quite as many as we've had last year, a couple of years, but some really talented players. Tell us what this senior class, what challenge you guys have faced to become leaders and to help build this program.
Well, the first challenge was definitely the whole COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That was really hard, but I feel like we handled it pretty well. And then a lot of seniors left last year, so now a lot of us other seniors having to step up. And we also have big shoes to fill, so definitely some challenges there.
It's, as a new quarterback, to have some guys behind you like a Heist and Austin, really kind of gives you some confidence because y'all think if I just get the ball to them, I'm gonna let them do their thing, right?
Yes, sir. If I can get it to them, I know at least got 5 yards for them.
And you've got I was looking at our offensive line. This may be one of the biggest offensive lines we've had in a long time.
Yes, sir, for sure. We got some big old boys up there on that line.
When you got out at the tackles, you've got Andrew Aycock and Big Charles Stegall. I tell you what, in the last 3 or 4 years, I've really been impressed with the way Charles has come on, and he's grown. And he was big to start with. I don't mean he's grown physically, but he's grown, and he can really move for a big guy.
He can move for a big guy. Not only is he just a big physical guy, he also he's a good leader on the team too.
You got Nate Lewis and Chaston Gooch, along with Curtis Martin, going to be working in that at the guard position. Some people overlook the guards, but the guards are key in wing T offense.
Oh yes, sir. You got to be able to be physical, and you got to be able to be mobile because they're pulling all the time.
Connor McClune steps down into the center after a 4-year starter, graduated there, and that's without the center quarterback exchange, getting that snap off clean, and you got to have that to keep the timing of the play. I know you and Connor worked a lot. If you develop that relationship with him, that you're confident that he's going to get you the snap right every time.
Oh yes, sir. We've definitely got that relationship. We've been working on it for a very long time.
All right, big game coming up tomorrow night. Lincoln County, as Coach Lawson said, he said that not only is the first team we played, but they wear red. And I know there's a lot of Bulldog fans out there like red, but when you got your mind on the Jackets, we don't like to see red, do we?
No, sir.
But a legendary team, a lot of history, a lot of tradition with Lincoln County. It's going to be a long bus ride, a big challenge for you guys. Tell us how that's going to, your mindset, so you can't just be up the whole time that you're on that bus, but be able to get focused at the right time to really kick it in at game time.
Oh yeah, so you can rest on the bus, focus on what you got to do on each play, just really focus on what you got to do throughout the game.
All right, big game, as we said, got a season opening game tomorrow night. Got a couple of words for the fans out there?
Like Cade said, please come out and support. We could use every one of y'all.
All right, well, that's going to do it here with Connor Ray, the starting quarterback. Good luck to you tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Connor. That's Connor Ray, starting quarterback for the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets. We'll take another little break here after we acknowledge some of our sponsors, and we'll get Coach Lance Helton in here to finish us up. Our sponsors: Lassiter Tractor, Douglas Metal and Steel, Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic of Coffee County, Abundant Life Pharmacy, Baby and Me, the Bridgeford Church of God, Lumber City Drugs, and Hazelhurst Automotive. We thank all of our sponsors. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Coach Lance Helton after this 1.5 minute break. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Good job.
My main man, Tom Freight.
Yeah, he did good. My hands will sweat. You hear that?
I made him sweat in here, Coach. Welcome back to the Jacket Nation Warm-Up Show. Jim Sewell here as we get set for a big Friday night of high school football. Finally, we're going to get some football out here. The Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets on the road to take on the Lincoln County Red Devils, one of the top teams in Georgia high school football history, and a big challenge for our Yellow Jackets as they make a long road trip to take on a team. Going to be a familiar face across the way on the sideline. Head coach Lee Homkes, formerly of Vidalia High School, is a new head coach at Lincoln County, and so it's going to be a challenge. We know the type coach that Coach Homkes is. You know, he's going to put a well-disciplined, a very physically tough team out on the field on Friday nights. So make your plans to head up the road to Lincoln County, leave early, get you a good meal, and come on out and support the Yellow Jackets. If you can't make it, you can check us out right here, live streaming on Facebook Live on 105.9 The Sting. That'll be brought to you by Beasley Forest Products, as well as on radio at 105.9 FM, and then on the TuneIn Radio app on your Android or iPhone device. Join me now, Coach Lance Helton. Coach, seems like it's been about 27 weeks since you started back in June. They pushed the season back a couple of weeks and canceled the scrimmage game. So finally, tomorrow night we get to take the field for real.
Well, you know, I think the first thing that we've all tried to combat here, Jim, is this is uncharted territory.
Absolutely.
You know, you talk about the normal high school athlete and what they go through in the months of June and July because of the early August start date that we've grown accustomed to in the GHSA. You know, you try to break that thing up in June. You really try to focus on the fundamentals of the game. You really try to focus on building that ground-based athlete, and you can break up some monotony with a half-pack camp, you know. Before you know it, you're at your dead week and you're on vacation. You get back from that, you really got 3 weeks of preparation in July. You get back to work for 2 weeks. You have another half-pack camp. And then you turn right around. You got acclimation week of the last week of July, and then you're scrimmaging. So it has been a very uncharted time for the high school athlete. And I'll tell you this, I don't think there's any group of kids that handled it any better than ours. Now, I'm not saying we're very good, you know. We may have a hard time going out there and playing the JV squad, okay? But our kids have handled this situation with humility and grace, and they've come to work every day for an extended period of time.
I talked a little bit in the opening tonight, looking back at last year. I know we talked the other night about last year's gone, but just for our fans out there, successful season, 7 wins. A lot of people would love to have 7 wins, but a bit bittersweet because it was right there in front of us at Metter, and they had to put a late drive together and a flea flicker play and pulled out the win, and it kept us out of the playoffs when a lot of teams with lesser records than we did continue to play. How's that going to be a motivation for this season?
You know, I think there's 2 ways to look at this thing, Jim. You know, you look back on last year, and you know you're a minute and a half away from sharing a region championship at 8-2, and in that 90 seconds, your whole world changes. You go from 7-3 or 8-2 to 7-3, and now you're out of the playoffs. And I'll tell you what it says to me, is this: our town and this community's come a long way from we ain't satisfied with that anymore. Okay. Now, with that being said, that's a burden for our kids. It's a heavy thing to wear. The expectation now is this. But you know what? You don't want to be anywhere, Jim, where that expectation isn't held true. Our guys hurt last year because of that, you know. But I still say this. I think that Metter was a great football team, okay? I think that Vidalia was a great football team. With them losing that quarterback and that tight end, if those 2 guys stay healthy, I think they win that region, okay? And you go look at Toombs County. I say this all the time. I find me somebody who's done a better job than Richie Marsh in the past 4 years, okay? But with all that being said, it comes back to us. And the thing that drove us last year was the separation of the unit. And we have focused on that this year. We got to play together. Egos aside, you know, individual statistics aside, it is about what is on the front of your jersey and the side of your helmet. And that is that representation of Jeff Davis County. And we got to get back to our ways, Jim, of out loving and out caring everybody on our schedule. You know, and I think that that really sunk into us, Jim, 2 weeks ago with the injury of Trey Chandler.
Yep.
It can be taken at any time. This is a sacred time in their lives, a sacred time in our lives, and I'm the luckiest man in the world to get to go do what I love and try to teach these young kids the importance of it every day. So we've got a burden on our heart right now of we're trying to go represent for Trey Chandler what this team is, what this community is about every day. So we're excited about the opportunities at hand this 2020 season.
It's a big challenge. Lincoln County with their tradition, ranked number 9 in single A, a couple of 3 All-State players on their roster, and a very good coach. So, I know your focus has been, and it's kind of unknown, we're familiar with Coach Hopkins, but there's no guarantee he's going to do the same things there he did it by day.
Well, I would say that Coach Hopkins he knows a little bit more about what we're doing than we know about what he's doing right now. But when you think about Lincoln County, you think of top 3 program in the state all time when it comes to wins. You think about the legacy that Larry Campbell left. You think about that diamond with that ALC in the middle of it on that helmet and the pride that community has. And I think this, Jim, is a really unique opportunity for our entire community because this is what it's about.
Yep.
This is what it's about. And we have the opportunity at Jeff Davis County to have our opponents come and talk about our place like we're talking about in Lincoln County. When you think about Lee Hopkins, the first word that comes to my mind is respect. Okay, what that guy did at Vidalia, he was a straight up and down guy. What he told you, he meant, and what he meant, he told you. And he coached the game of football the right way. So it is a mighty task that we're excited about, okay? I think that our kids, the big focus for our kids is this. The extended amount of time that no football has been played. The lack of preparation when it comes to seeing different opponents. And the excitement of the unknown with what Lincoln County brings to the table. What we have to do is focus on us, and we can't let the atmosphere in the game be bigger than our preparation and our vision and how we move forward into the game. The one thing that ain't changed, Jim, is the buck sweep. We run that thing the same way that we ran it since we got here. The traps the same way, the bootlegs the same way, and if we can focus on our execution and our effort, we're going to try to give ourselves a 50-50 chance to win that thing late. And it's a mighty opponent. I think this, and I said this the other night, Jim. Man, we play at great venues. Swainsboro High School, such a difficult place to play. Buck Cravey Field in there in Vidalia High School, such a difficult place to play. The Pit has got this aura about it, more so than maybe any stadium in this area.
Right.
Bacon County High School is a tough place to play. East Lawrence High School is a very difficult place to play. But with those guys being region opponents, you see those guys year in, year out. To give our kids the opportunity to go visit somewhere they hadn't seen, the opportunity to go to a place with as much aura as it has at Larry Campbell Field, we are excited about this opportunity. I think this is one of the bigger regular season games that this place has played in quite some time. So I'm just so excited for these kids in this community to just have a chance to go play high school football in a venue that high school football should be played in.
A couple of new faces on your coaching staff this year. Coach Jake Cravey, longtime defensive coordinator at Vidalia. I think you did some hoodooing to sneak him over here. And then Coach Stan Rush moving up from the middle school program, added to your staff. What have those two guys brought in to your staff here?
Well, the old mantra is if you can't beat them, join them. You know what I mean? Right. So I kind of changed that around a little bit, and I said if you can't beat them, you got to hire them. Okay, so Coach Cravey has done a great job, and I've learned, Jim, so much from him in my time. That guy is a football guy, and he cares about our kids, and he is a man of God, and I am so thankful for his addition to this coaching staff. Stan Rush has paid his dues throughout our system. You can make mention that a lot of our success at Jeff Davis is because of the foundation he built within our middle school program. You know, and he's at a point in his life where he wanted to come up to this level, and man, he has been just amazing. Fundamentally, just from a teaching and relationship standpoint with these guys, it's been great. And you know, the staff continuity still remains the same. You know, we're super blessed going into our 4th year that we've only had 3 coaching changes.
Right.
Okay, and that's hard to say in high school football. And look, we're going to miss Coach Lord and Coach Reddy. They've helped us build this thing. They were our right-hand guys, and I'm so excited about their future endeavors. Okay, but what I am is as excited about this team and this staff as I have been throughout my tenure here. You know, it is really good to get some different points of view. It's great to see this thing get unified, and it's great to see our kids be excited about the adult faces in the room.
You lost a large senior class last year. You know, it's almost unusual to get one 4-year starter on a team. You had several.
Sure.
That graduated last year, leaving some big shoes to fill, but you bring back a lot of talented players. This senior class is loaded with talent, and you've got some juniors that have seen a lot of playing time. So the cupboard's not bare. And you talked about the expectations. A lot of people have been looking at these young guys who have grown up in this program, and now it's their time to shine.
You know, I think that the number one thing that you got to do is you got to stay true to yourself. Okay, don't make the moment bigger than it is. Don't make the moment bigger than you are. So for us, I think that it's very important to stay the course. You know, we're not asking anybody to go be Christian Ray. What I'm asking Connor McClune to do is to be the best Connor McClune he can be for this place every day. It's the same with Connor Ray at quarterback, okay? It's the same with replacing Jay Sean Kirby out there at wide. It's the same with trying to replace Jalen Grady out there at right tackle, you know? So we are just extremely excited. There are some guys that have waited their turn, you know, but more so than anything, Jim, it ain't about their turn, it's about our turn, you know? And when their turn can turn into our turn and our time here as the 2020 Jackets, you got a chance to A, have a chance late to win all your ball games. B, have a chance to win all your home games. And C, have a chance to go play that game 11. You know, that's what we talked to. They let everybody in the state play 10.
That's right.
Everybody.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. So
this year, hopefully.
We're trying to get to 11, and we're trying to get to something these guys can be proud of. You know, we talked about this yesterday. There's a lot of high school football players, Jim, that talk about what could have been or what might have been. There's only a select few that get to talk about what was. And the ultimate deciding factor on that is our individual choices. And what we challenge them tonight is this: what choice will you make? What choice will you continue to make? Because you got the choice to go chase women tonight. You got the choice to go stay up late and run the roads. Or you got the choice to go home and hydrate. You got a choice to go watch and review some practice tape. You got a choice to go be the best Jeff Davis Yellow Jacket you can be.
This may be one of the, and your big boys up front, both sides of the ball, maybe some of the biggest team I've seen around here in a while. You've got some healthy young men up there to play the tough position down in the trenches.
We do. You know, I think a common misconception is people get the words big and good confused. You know, we're big. Right now we ain't good yet, but I think we can get there. Okay, but we are big, and what I love is this: their hearts for each other, and their hearts for the game of football, and their hearts for this community are just as big as their stature. Charles DeGaulle, love him to
I've
death.
been really impressed with the way he's developed over these 4 years.
What he is a team guy. He will hold you to a standard, and Charles DeGaulle has had to fight personal battles throughout his time here, but his heart is just as big as his stature. You know, and that goes across the line of scrimmage. You're only going to be as good, Jim, as those line of scrimmage players. You got to be different right there. You got to be different. And we got a chance to be for each other. The only way you can be different is if you fight with each other and for each other. You know, I got my college roommate that came in and spoke to us tonight, and he was a great player. He was an All-American. okay, and was part of a national championship at Valdosta State. And he played with 5 guys there on that national championship team, and they were together. It wasn't about individual accolades. It was about the togetherness. And when I looked at him tonight, I said, you know what? That's what we got to get back to. We got to get back to representing this community. We got to get back to representing the family members these kids have had that wore this jersey before them. And we also got to be a representation of being with the select few that can talk about what was.
Had a really good crowd turnout last Thursday for
it
the
was
Navy and Gold game. Gonna need about 3 or 4 times that many heading up to Lincoln County tomorrow night.
I tell you, playing 4 home games this year, this is huge. This is a uncertain time, and Lincoln County was gracious enough to us to split the attendance gate tomorrow. So you're right. We need as many people as we can. I want to paint this red town navy and gold. That's the challenge to Jeff Davis County. That's the challenge to everybody out there tonight. Let's go up there. Let's fly those yellow jacket flags, and let's teach those folks in Lincoln how to sing Wagon Wheel tomorrow night.
I hear you. Well, Coach, thank you for coming by. Good luck tomorrow night, and let's go get us some Red Devils.
Jim, I appreciate you more than you know. I appreciate this community. Man, when you're wearing Navy, you're as good as gold. Go Jackets.
Head coach Lance Helton here on the Jacket Nation warm-up show, and we're gonna take a little break here to talk about some of our sponsors, and we'll be wrapping things up. Our pregame show this year is going to be sponsored by Jeff Davis Hospital. The halftime show by H&H Home Supply. Our sideline reports will be brought to you courtesy of Southern Eye Care. Kickoffs by Bruce Edwards, your personal injury attorney. Starting lineup is Williams Brothers Trucking Company. Timeouts are sponsored by McCarty Auto Parts, and of course our live stream game night will be brought to you by Beasley Forest Products. We thank all of our fine sponsors for the work they do. So we'll be ready to head up to Lincoln County tomorrow night to take on the Red Devils. Chris Davis will join me in the booth. Paul Wood will be on the sidelines. And then our video crew, Lauren Dixon, Abby Hernandez, and Jacob Williams will be handling the video production. Of course, our main man, Ronnie Williams, who will be whacking the studios here in Hazelhurst, keeping us all on there and keeping everything running smooth. That's going to do it here for the inaugural edition of the Jacket Nation warm-up show. Make your plans. 7:30 kickoff tomorrow night in Lincoln County against the Lincoln County Red Devils. For Coach Lance Helton, this is Jim Sewell. Go Jackets!